That song. Good morning, guys. That song is. Hold on. Here's the link. At Brian. All right, guys. Good morning. So, yesterday came down again. Same exact thing as we expected, right? As usual. Trend has not changed. Everything's sticking to the same. We continue to drop. There's nothing else much to say. The buying is very weak. There's no higher highs. There's very weak pushes to the upside, and we go ahead and slip once again. So came back down yesterday once again. Came back down to 13,000. The Qualcomm gap is pretty much filled already. Yeah, that happened yesterday. So congrats to anyone that caught that. So we pushed back lower, 13,000, almost to the T, and we found a little bit of support off of it. So 13,000, that's the level to watch today. Do we hold it? Do we hold it? Do we bounce? That's the big question, right? That's today's question. Now, if anything stays consistent in this market today, then my opinion would be that we drop below it. But we'll have to stay tuned because we have a lot of macroeconomic things going on. We have war. We have Jerome Powell tomorrow. We just have a lot of stuff that could totally invalidate technical analysis. But until that stuff pops up, I think we stick on the same trend, which is clearly lower, guys. So, again, yesterday, the morning tried to fake you out. And if you didn't get faked out, if you stuck to what's been working and you ignored the pop in the early morning, then you did very, very well yesterday. So congratulations. The puts that I have are all up tremendously again. I have Dash puts, which was down 14% yesterday. The stock was down 14% yesterday. I have Coin puts. I have Bumble puts. I have Baba puts. I have Roku puts. So I have quite a bit of downside plays, which are doing really well. But of course, this leaves me with what the old saying, don't get caught with your pants down. So I have to manage those very closely on a daily basis. So that's my goal today, is just to manage those swings. I will likely not enter any more trades because of the amount of trades that I have on. Now, of course, the trades that I have on are very small. They're all about $200 to $300 each, so I'm not overexposing myself in one position. But I am taking positions where I believe there is weakness and where I see, just overall weak price action. So every stock that I have is like the weakest of the weakest, right? Baba's been a terrible stock. Roku's been a terrible stock. Dash has been a terrible stock. Bumble has been a terrible stock. Coin has been a terrible stock. So I'm just following that trend of really bad stocks in a really tough market. And it's pretty much, I don't want to call it free money, but if you just follow that trend right now, it's really quite easy. And I don't even like to take credit for some of the trades that I take. People in the chat, when I take them, a lot of them are doing really well off of that. But I don't even like to take credit for those trades because it's just almost too easy. It's not like I found something that was fantastic. Any of you guys could take the trades that I have been taking. Everything's just dropping. So just stick to that trend. Maybe I'll just be that voice of reason for you guys to say, the trend is just so obvious right now. Now, things can change on an instant, and that's where your management and your trade management and your quickness to react, that's another key of your trading that you need to do. Yeah, liberal arts. Yeah, you think I'd put a liberal arts thing behind me? If you do, you think that I'm not crazy. That is a finance degree from UCF, University of Central Florida. So that's a little bit about what I've been doing, a little bit about the market. This morning, we're getting a really big dip on oil, guys. So we're actually getting some movement on XOM, CVX, USO /CL. I'm interested. I will definitely potentially get into CVX puts again. I'm not gonna totally ignore the fact that it could come down. It's still very hyped up. I'm gonna stay away from it for now, but I'm gonna watch it. So that's another thing I'll be watching. Oil today is really getting hit. We'll see if that continues. So let's get started. But first off, good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here again. Thanks for supporting the stream. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Seen a little bit less viewers on the stream lately. I'm not sure if it's just people getting uninterested in the market. That is very possible. I think a lot of people come and go into stock market. During the meme rally, it's very interesting. You can really tell when people stick around and when they get burnt out. So trend is your friend. That's right. We have a shirt with that. If you want to buy the Options Insider merch, it's on sale. Go check it out. During the meme rally in 2020, what was that? 2020, 2021? That was my biggest growth in subscribers on my YouTube channel. I can actually maybe show you that. Let me see if I can bring that up. So I see trends in literally just in my analytics on my YouTube from stuff like that. So it's interesting. Let me see if I can see that. Yeah, look at this. I think this was when it was. I don't want to. Do I want to show you? Do I want to show you the amount I've made on YouTube? I'll share it with you guys eventually, maybe in a video. Here. So this is my subscriber growth, and it's pretty consistent. And then there's some jolts, and this I believe is around. This was around July. I believe this is when the meme stock started going crazy. July of 2021. Is that around the time? Let's see. I show the people in the Discord. If you're in the Discord, I'm very open with everyone there. July of 2020. It was sort of on the tail end of that. This is GameStop. So this is like June. This is June on GameStop when it hit $344 a share. And then the meme rally was, or the big subscriber growth was around July. So it's pretty similar, but you can see that sort of see that correlation. Pretty interesting. Anyways, I know you're not that interested in that, but I thought it'd be interesting to share. You know what? I'll share it with you guys. Why not? You're part of the live stream, and here it is, guys. If you want to start a YouTube channel, here's some motivation for you. And I'm not even that big of a YouTube person. So since I started YouTube back in April 21st of 2020, I have made $47,400 just on YouTube. So there you go. Pretty awesome. If you want to start a YouTube channel, if you have the motivation, if you have the drive, if you're someone that's going to wake up every day and do it and provide good content, if you know what you're talking about, I would recommend you give it a shot. Yeah, do not believe anything you see on Social Blade. It's totally wrong. Social Blade is totally wrong. There you go, guys. That's how much I've made. And basically, every month I make about $2,500. So there you go. You get a little inside look of the back operation. If you come to the live stream, yeah, and definitely don't believe anything you see on Social Blade. That is totally incorrect for not just me but everyone else. People with a lot of subs make a lot of money, guys. A lot a lot of money. I mean, Meek Kevin makes like 10,000 a day. All right, anyways, let's get started. So, futures, we'll look at that. We'll look at the futures. We'll look at economic earnings calendar. Economic calendar, big things tomorrow. That's really it. Got to focus on tomorrow. Tomorrow's federal funds rate. That is monstrous. Monstrous. Tomorrow, federal funds rate. Thank you guys for the kind words. Yeah, it's been a grind. You know, it's a lot, but it's fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. So, federal funds rate tomorrow. That's monstrous. We all should know that. We have not much on the earnings calendar. However, we did have a few earnings like UAL, I think, reported this morning. No, they didn't. Sierra telling me UAL reported? Sierra, did UAL report this morning? That's interesting. Huh. I guess they did. I don't see it on here, but I guess so we had some earnings on UAL, which is bringing them slightly higher this morning. Looks like airlines, so keep an eye on airlines off that. Not much besides that on the earnings calendar, so I'm going to stay away from that today. But economic calendar, that's the big one right here, guys. You can see tomorrow we have retail sales, we have FOMC, we have FOMC federal funds rate. That's huge. Oh, that's Outlook. All right, thanks here. So not earnings from UAL. We had an Outlook. They reported on the Outlook. So FOMC statement tomorrow. That's going to be the big one. Okay, more China downside. Baba, JD, Baidu. They are continuing lower, guys. This is still moving lower. This is still very weak. So I would absolutely be watching these again. I am in some Baba puts. I took a swing trade there. Here it is. So I opened a swing trade yesterday around 1 o'clock, March 18th, 75 put for 335. I took it because I was sitting on some house money off of CoinDash and Bumble. So I really didn't need, I didn't really have much risk there because of the profits that I had from CoinDash and Bumble. I did it. I had the cushion, and I was confident in maybe some more downside on Baba. Just following the trend, guys. That's all I was doing. So following the trend there on Baba. More weakness on China. We'll take a look at those. Oil. We'll look at oil continuing to slide. Dash and Coinbase are continuing lower, and they hit all-time lows yesterday, guys. Dash and Coinbase hit all-time lows. Big time. So watch that. Another thing to mention, Baba is trading below its IPO price, if anyone is not aware. Baba is officially below where it IPO'd back in 2014. So that is quite incredible. That is quite incredible. That is something to really think about. It's pretty crazy to think about. IPO 2014, Baba is below that. Anyone that sat in Baba since 2014 is now negative on the stock. It's pretty crazy. Apple at 150. We'll see what happens there today. I'm just monitoring Apple as sort of like my basis for how the tech sector is doing. Definitely, that's really the only tech stock I've been really monitoring. I really have not been trading large cap tech much lately. Like I haven't traded Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, Netflix, any Amazon. I really haven't traded any of those names recently. I've just been. It feels crappy, but I've been just bottom feeding off of the stocks that just can't go higher. That's really what I've been doing. Just shooting a gun into a barrel of stocks that are just dead and they're just not able to move and not able to go higher. So I'm just sticking with those names because they are just names that I can sit and stay confident in and not have to worry about any type of upside. It's just every push higher gets sold into on these names. So that's what I've been doing. XLE back to 70. I think we can pull back to this important retest level at 70. Gonna watch that. Roku back under 100. So Roku finally pushed under 100, guys. It printed, I think it went down to around 99.50 yesterday in the afternoon. So let's keep an eye on Roku today. Am I in Upstart? I took Upstart puts yesterday. I took a loss on them intraday. I was too impatient on Upstart. So no, I'm not in Upstart puts. I should be, but I wasn't. Upstart setup was perfect. Congratulations. Congratulations to anyone that took that Upstart bear flag. We'll look at it again. And then finally, CRM setting up that bear flag as well. So let's get started. Okay. Nasdaq. Daily chart. Daily chart, where did we come back down to? You guys know the level, it's 13,000, right? So what happens today? That's going to be huge, right? I mean, here's my thought process when I see this. My thought process is that my margin for downside on put options feels a little bit less lucrative. It's a little bit less lucrative because I don't quite know if we hold here, right? I don't know if we hold this level, and I don't know what happens tomorrow. So I think my time on my put options are going to have to run out here soon. I'm probably going to close a good amount of my puts today because I just do not want to sit in the uncertainty. I'm not going to sit in the uncertainty of potentially holding my puts through a potential 13,000 bounce and a potential bounce off economic news, right? Not going to do that. I'm not going to expose myself to that kind of risk. So my put option opportunity is just a little bit less than I would like because I don't know what happens here at 13 and I don't know what happens tomorrow. So my time is running out for easy downside. It's starting to wear out a little bit. So I need to be careful there, right? You know, the more likely event here is that we get another fake bounce, right? I think it's more likely that we get another fake bounce into the 20 before we bounce or before we drop below 13K. That would be my assumption. If everything sort of stays to what it's been doing, you get a drop over like a 3 or 4 day period, and then you get a bounce. And you get a bounce that rejects off the 20. So what happens here, guys? If we see another push into the 20, you better get your puts ready again because there's another opportunity presenting itself. If we get another push into the 20, which we very well could, this could be the area we bounce off of, I would look for another rejection off the 20 SMA and start to play that thing back to the downside. So I'm thinking we will see a little bit of a hold here at 13. That's my opinion. We'll see what happens, but I am definitely going to start scaling off the puts at this area. This is definitely an area that I want to be a little bit cautious of just blindly. As I said earlier, I have my pants down a little bit. I have a lot of put options, so I shouldn't be holding as many as I do, and I think it's time for me to lock some of that in. So that's the Nasdaq, guys, 13,000 today. Let's see what happens at that level. If we drop below that level and hold below that level intraday, I will be a little bit more patient on my puts. If we see that, I'll be a little bit more willing to hold it. So if we see, nothing at open, if we see just absolute weakness, right at open, and we just can't even get above like 13,130 here, and we just dive right below it, I'll be a little bit more patient. If we get a push, I would assume we push pretty quickly because there's really not much resistance here, guys. So I would just watch yesterday's levels as sort of your levels to watch. So here's yesterday and today. So first of all, I would watch this pre-market resistance here around 13,130. That's my first watch. Around 13,130, I would watch that level. Next, I would watch this little 13,224 area from yesterday's open, yesterday's pre-market, right in this area here. If we get above this 13,130, there's really, you guys can see, there's not much space or there's not much consolidation between these two levels. So my opinion is if we do find some strength today through 13,130, you might get a quick push into the 200s, and then I think that would be ultimately where you probably start to lose steam. That would be sort of my watch today. Either reject here, very weak if we reject off 130. That would be very, very weak to reject pre-market highs. If we cannot, or if we do get through pre-market highs, I would look for yesterday's morning lows here around 13,224. If we somehow get through that, which I would think would be astonishing, You got this huge resistance up here, which there's no way we get through. I mean, that would be crazy. So there's the levels I'm watching, guys, today on the Nasdaq. I would look for the same kind of weakness as yesterday until something clearly changes trend, because right now it is not. So here's the ES. It's the same story, right? Right around 41.80 pre-market highs. I would be watching that for resistance. And then, of course, opening levels yesterday, which is sort of like this entire low here. Right around this 40. Oh, that's right at 4,200, isn't it? I didn't even see it was at 4,200. Look at that. So support, and a little bit of a gap here, 4,200. If we do get through 41.80, I would look for the push to 42, and that would be ultimately where I think we start to stall, right around that 42. Levels to the downside, just 13,000. If we break 13,000, I don't have a good read, guys, for you, because I don't know how aggressive this market gets under 13. It's a little bit difficult under 13,000 how aggressive this selling gets. So if we break down 13, I mean it's not much. There's not much clarity down here. 12,765, maybe these lows here, right around this area. But it's a little bit difficult. It's sort of just like a straight up move here. So yeah, just be careful if we break 13. I think I need to reassess. I can't really help you with that today. I would have to reassess to see how this market looks. But I would just watch these lows on the daily chart, guys. Go to the daily chart. Look at the previous lows. Use those as levels to watch. 12.3, 12.7, 13,000. Okay, YM. So remember we talked about how the YM was turning 33.5 into resistance? Well, this looks like it's pretty bearish to me. So you guys can see if you go to this daily chart on the Dow, you can see support. Look at what the Dow turned that support into. If I go to the 30-minute chart, look at what the Dow turned that support into, right? Perfect resistance. So that previous support on the Dow has now turned into a major resistance point up here at 33,500, and that is bearish. So as long as the Dow is trading below that 33.5 right here and trading below the 20 SMA, I think you need to look for downside. So you need to break at 33.5. You need to break 20 SMA for me to think there's anything to the upside here. And then besides that, I would just watch the lows of these days here. Both, right around 32.1 and 32.5. So watch that, guys. Dow definitely looks bearish, rejecting previous support into resistance. 20 SMA rejection. I would be focused on the downside there as well. Finally, the Russell. And the Russell actually is getting to a point where this could break down again. I would be, this would be pretty astonishing. So right around this 19.3, guys, and this is a big support level here. If we break down this level, you might even get more downside on the Russell, which is already in a bearish market since January, right? So the Russell is down 21%, so that is a bearish market. The Nasdaq's also a bearish market officially, just to let you know. I'm using Thinkorswim, but you can see right here, if this is to break, you got some downside here, and if I go out to the weekly chart, this could very well, very well, and very easily come back down to 1,700. If you look at any other chart on the stock market, guys, it looks like this, and it fills this area, right? It totally fills this area. So Russell, if we do break this 1900 area, I would absolutely be looking to see if we do get this entire slip back down to 17, because that is where the support is. There's really not much support in this area. It's down here at 17. All right. So that's the futures, guys. To sort of recap, it's the same trend as yesterday. Everything's the same. You don't change anything until you start to see a change in momentum. If I was to give you any advice today, it would be to be careful. Tomorrow is economic data. I would be careful holding any large positions. I would protect yourself. I would side be on the side of caution, because I think you'll be happy in the long run if you are cautious rather than aggressive through a meeting like this. Yeah, I'm sure the volume profile is real pretty here. That's why indicators are lagging indicators, guys, because I already know what the volume profile looks like. That's like the definition of why indicators are just not something I use, because I can tell you without even looking at it, right, that the volume profile has a large gap in this area, right? Look at that gap right there between 19 and 17, huge volume profile gap, no volume there. And if you were to drop into this level, I think you do not find any support on the Russell. Okay. All right, so that's the futures. Be on the side of caution. Tomorrow's a big day. Baba is below its IPO prices, and it's not quite below all-time lows, but it is below where it IPO'd on the week of September 15th, 2014. The opening of this candle was $92.70. We are now trading at $73.80. Crazy. This is a insane drop over the last just about 5 months. Baba has lost all of its value since its IPO, which is just pretty astonishing. I mean, it is down from $319 to $714, losing 77%. And it doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon. It really does not. It really does not look like it's slowing down anytime soon. Does Baba have to come back down to its lows? Do we see 50s? Do we see 60s? We're in the 70s. Do we see these set 57, 60 level? Do we see this 57 area, $60 level right around here? It's very possible. So I would continue to watch this to the downside, guys. I just do not see. Look at the last 4 days. Oh my God. Look at this. Huge drop, huge drop, huge drop, huge drop. Why doesn't it continue? I don't think it, I'm not sure if it will, but I would absolutely be looking to see if this continues today. You got a big gap down. None of these gaps are getting filled, by the way. There probably will come a point where the gap does have to get filled to the upside. That could be today. You can see there's a little gap here on the daily chart that maybe it needs to fill, and then you can play it back to the downside. Totally possible if you need to fill that gap. But I would absolutely be watching the China names today, guys, for more downside. See if previous support turns into resistance. See if we reject intraday. Yeah, it's all Chinese stocks. It's not just Baba. So nice little rejection yesterday around this 82. We came back down again pre-market. The high of this candle is 75.45, so I'd probably watch around there. Maybe if we bounce, maybe watch around here for a rejection, right around that area, 75.45, 75.50. But yeah, guys, just want to bring this up. I think you absolutely watch Baba today. You can watch BIDU. That is another stock that is getting absolutely demolished. And this is a stock that I think has even more opportunity. Actually, you know what? Now it's pretty close. It's closer than I thought it was. I was looking to see if I can play Baidu back down to 95, and we're almost there already. So I'd watch BIDU back down to this 95, guys. I think that's where we're heading. You guys can see right here. BIDU has support around this 90 area, 95 area. I would assume that BIDU comes back down to there. So right now we're trading at around 101, and I think you maybe have a little bit more room down to 95. But you have pretty much missed that if you didn't catch it yesterday. So that's BIDU. Finally, another stock that's just getting crushed is JD. This is going to come back to, I think, 40 easily. I think it's already at 40. We talked about JD back to 40 on the stream, and it actually happened. Look at that. So if you get back to 40, which I think you will, after that, I think the clear and obvious level is right here around 32. You guys can see right here around this 32. This was previous support. I think if you drop under this 40, I think you come back to this 32 here. So I think JD, Baba, and Baidu all have more downside possibility. I would absolutely be watching them today. Oil. This is a sore subject for me because I just am upset with my I'm not upset with my ability to catch it, because I did catch it very well. I caught the exact when I got into put options, it was at the exact top of oil. However, my execution and my knowledge around how to catch a play here on oil was lacking, and it's unfortunate because I did really well to spot the cracks in oil and to spot where it was starting to lose momentum, and I just did not take full advantage of this move. So it sucks. But, you guys can see oil is cracking. It's moving lower. It's back below $100 a barrel. I would like to see it stay under 100. I think that's a very big thing for the macroeconomic environment, is to see oil stay below 100. There's always a lot of stuff about that psychological 100 level on oil. Yeah, producer price index is about to release. We'll see if there's any movement on there. So $100. Well, let's see if oil stays below $100 a barrel. I think that will be good for our market to see that stay under 100. That's a big psychological number. So oil's down about 7% this morning, guys. So big drop. You're getting a drop here on USO. You're getting a drop on CVX, actually. You're back down to 159. So this is a stock that I'd be very interested in. You guys know I tried to catch this previously, but you are back down to around 159, 160 today. So you are dropping here. Is this where CVX finally drops down to around 140? I think this is going to occur. I just don't know when. And I'm trying to be as patient as possible to maybe get re-entry here. But there is no way that CVX holds up this move. You guys can see, look at all these green candles, all these all these holds. Definitely watching it. Next, XOM down as well. So USO, CVX, XOM, watch on all that, guys. And you have the oil prices, which are down 7% this morning. So very big move there. Watch that. Nasdaq. Yeah, you're getting a little pop here on Nasdaq. You got through that level we were talking about. Right around 13,130. So you got through that level off producer price index. Let's pull that up. Yeah, nice little hold here. So PPI month over month 0.2 versus 0.6. Estimated was 0.8. Huh. Wow. That's a big drop. That would be a sign. It's 0.2 versus 0.6. Estimated was 0.8. That month over month, guys. Focus on the month over month, not the year over year. Year over year came in a little bit lower than expected. A little bit higher than previous, but the month over month is a big drop. That's strange. That would indicate less inflation. But I don't know. That's hard to trust. Right? So if anyone's not aware, this is the price that producers receive for their goods. Basically, it's like it's sort of an indicator on how much they're receiving. It's producer price index. How much is the producers? How much price are they getting? So it's lower than previous, and it's lower than expected. I don't know. U.S. core PPI 0.2 versus 0.6. U.S. PPI month over month 0.8 versus 0.8. Yeah. Year over year is going to be up, guys. Year over year is going to be up. There's absolutely no way that year over year drops. We all need to understand that. Year over year is going to be positive. It's without a doubt. You need to focus on month over month. You got to see the short-term changes. That's more important. So yeah, we'll see. I'm not like gonna go out and buy calls off this, but let's see what happens. A little bit of a push. Here's a definition of PPI, guys. I'll pull it up for anyone it's what they receive for. Here you go. If you can just Google it. So, producer price index is a price index that measures the average changes in price received by domestic producers for their output. So it's what they're receiving for their output, right? So let's see. It came in lower month over month, which means producers are receiving less for their output, which would be a sign of lower inflation. But I don't know if I can rally behind that. I'm gonna be cautious on that. Let's see how the market reacts. Let's just be a little bit. Let's be a little bit cautious there, guys. Fuel inflation costs not accounted for yet in the month's numbers. Okay, yeah, I mean, you guys got to be careful just running off of these, running off these articles. Of course, it's just a little bit dangerous just to go run off these articles. So just be careful here, guys. I see that it's lower, but I gotta read a little bit more into that. All right, so let's continue. Dash, congratulations, anyone that's in Dash, guys. I mean, this is just a sick play. We've talked about this for a week. We talked about this play building here for literally an entire week. Support, resistance, and resistance. So this is just textbook stuff. Support, resistance, support into resistance. Dash had a nasty day yesterday, down 14%, just died all day. And this is officially all-time lows for DoorDash. Saw some news yesterday about Uber, starting to struggle with the gas prices. This was originally why I thought to get into this play. I'm not sure if that's the actual reason it's dropping. I think it's just dropping because the stock market's really weak. But yeah, beautiful stuff. More downside in the puts. And congratulations. I would still look for this to see if maybe you can get some downside off of a fake bounce. Next, Coinbase, another stock that we've been talking about for quite a while. What did we talk about on Coinbase? We talked about the gap fill. And we had a gap up here on Coinbase back on Wednesday. We had this gap up right here. And I was looking to see, can Coinbase fill that gap, right? Can Coinbase come back down, fill the gap that we had on Coinbase? This is the hourly chart. And I was looking to see, can I get in some puts and play this thing back to around 160? Now, we did get that very nicely on Friday, and we came right below 161 and came all the way down to around 159 near the close. So I was willing to hold this longer, right? And we close here at 159, 160. This is right at all-time lows. I said, hey, this might be worth holding a little bit longer. Yes, on Friday, so I held it over the weekend. And we can see yesterday we came down to 150. So all-time lows on Coinbase, guys, since, obviously since IPO. IPO was $429 at the high, and we are now at all-time lows of 150. I'm holding Coinbase puts. Let's see what happens. Just want to share with you guys two stocks that are hitting all-time lows. Apple, huge level here at 150. This is going to be very interesting. I'm very focused on seeing what Apple does here. So you have support, big time previous support here around 150, resistance that I would want to see turn into support, right? I want to see Apple turn this into support here. I need to see 150 hold. So right at the 50 SMA on the weekly chart, right at a huge area, 150 psychological level. Is this the 200 SMA? Where's the 200 here? Okay, it's below the 200. So we're below the 200. I I'm watching this 150 area on Apple, guys. Let's see what happens today. I think this is going to be an interesting level to maybe purchase some shares. I mean, I bought more shares yesterday near this 150. I'll continue to purchase Apple shares as we dip here, into these 150s, into these 140s. I'm definitely interested in this pullback. Apple is down about 18% since its highs, and this is a very interesting level. So all eyes on 150 today for me on Apple at one. I think it's a big weight on the market. As you guys know, Apple is a major part of the index, the Nasdaq, as well as the SPY. This is a big part of these indices. So if Apple holds 150, it's going to be helpful. If it breaks through and flushes under 150, you might see some pain. So this is going to be an interesting watch here. XLE, unfortunately, it's sort of happening in the pre-market. But you guys know we've been talking about this retest, and I think it's going to come in. I think it's going to come in pretty quickly, too. $70, I think, needs to retest on XLE. I think this is a perfect little retest zone for XLE to find strength again. I think it just needs to cool off here. So right around this 70, where you have a perfect little break and a retest and a consolidation and then another push higher, that is perfect stuff right there, right? That is the textbook formation of stock charts. Break and retest, little hold at previous resistance, turn it into support, and then bounce off. So I think the XLE needs to come back to 70s. I'm definitely going to be watching for it. This might even be a way to play this oil drop, is to just trade the XLE back to the downside near this 70. So that's what I'm going to be watching. Can XLE come back to do a little retest? I think it can. It's down to around 72 here in the pre-market. So we're almost there. Let's see what happens today. That's something that I'm going to be watching, the oil prices, energy sector. I think that's going to be very important. Roku. Man, do I wish that I held my Roku puts. Man, do I wish that I held my Roku puts, man. Now, let's see. I had a March 11th, so I couldn't even hold them if I wanted to. So that makes me feel a little bit better. Yeah, I had March 11th. I think so. Let me see. March 11th, March 11th, March 11th. Yeah, all March 11th on the Roku side. So even if I had them, I wouldn't have held them. I'm back in them since yesterday. I got back in Roku yesterday. We'll see what happens. I'm very interested to see if this thing drops below 100. So Roku, you guys can see, if you guys are an OG or if you're just come to the live stream every day, you'll remember, guys. I mean, look how perfect this was. This was so good. Looking at stuff like this, I'm happy I caught it, but I'm also wish I got heavier into it. This was the cleanest little rejection right here that I've seen in quite some time. You guys can see gap down, gap fill, perfect gap fill to the upside, and a really nasty rejection off the gap. So right up back into fill the gap close reversal. You can see it right there. Previous support turns into resistance. Clean stuff. And just sort of slid ever since. Really nice stuff. So if we go to the 30 to hourly chart right here, you guys can see this thing is just not finding the beans. It doesn't have the beans to get any higher. You can see this was previous lows around 103, 104, and it's dropped below that yesterday. So this is a big drop in my opinion. This is, new lows here, new pivot lows. This was a previous pivot point. Nice drop below it. You're finding a little bit of juice this morning because of the Nasdaq, but I would be looking to see where can I get this on a rejection, to be quite honest. That's what I would be looking. I wish I had my puts. I had 17 puts for March 18th. Oh, shit, Danny. That's some decent size there. I'm going to be looking for around this 104 area today for rejection, right up in here. And then I'm going to be watching yesterday's highs, right around 105.80s, 106. And then I'm going to be watching this little 107 area. So I'm definitely looking at Roku for where is this want to pop, if it does, and where do we start to lose steam? Because if it does, I'm getting heavy into this. So let's see. I'm in right now some Roku puts from yesterday. Obviously, everything I trade is in the Discord chat. So if you guys are interested in checking it out, you can. It's down below. Right here. So I am in some Roku 100 puts for March 18th. I got in those when the stock was trading around $102. So we'll see what happens today, guys. I might end up being a little bit flat on them this morning because of this little push. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not too worried about it. I only have one contract, small size. So we'll see. I'm looking to see if I can get a little bit more downside here today, under 100, because I know the $100 break would be quite beautiful. Upstart, killer move, man. Killer move. This is some really nice stuff. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at that bear flag. We talked about it yesterday. Look at these 2 days. Just beautiful flush under the bear flag. That is textbook. I already talked to you guys about it. If you were to screenshot a textbook and you are going to see, what is a bear flag? Let me look into the textbook and see what is a bear flag. Here you go. Let's screenshot that right there because that is the textbook definition of a bear flag. You guys can see it. Just really, really clean stuff. So there's a good example for you guys of if you see something like this, that is definitely bearish, and it definitely, if it breaks below, it's definitely something that's going to continue. And you can see Upstart over the last 2 days has dropped just about 25% in 2 days, man. Holy crap. So really nice stuff. Where can Upstart go? I think Upstart can at least test these lows right around here. Maybe around this 75. Maybe the candle of this low, which is actually where we held. Yeah, we held at the candle, the body of this low. So the body of this January 24th low, or January 24th day, is right around 86. That's about where we held. So let's see if that breaks. I think you come down to the wick of this candle, maybe around 75. If you break that, you got some interesting stuff to the left. Actually, there's a gap on this chart. Hold on a second. Huh. We got a gap on this chart. Maybe this is where it wants to come to. Right around this 61. You got this gap here. Yeah, that's actually where it's starting to hold. So you got the bear flag done. You got the previous low right there. You got the low here. You got the low here. Huh. Look at that. You got the low there too. So watch this, guys. Support. Watch this 84 area here. So that's interesting. If you drop this 84, 85, watch into this gap fill. There's a gap to fill down to 60. Interesting stuff. Yeah, I have Upstart in my portfolio. I'm just buying. It's a 2% allocation in my portfolio. It's very small, and I think Upstart could do better in a higher interest rate environment. So that's why I'm willing to put just a little bit into Upstart, 2% of my allocation, because I think Upstart could be a stock that does do well in a high interest rate environment. Obviously this market's just not accepting of the stocks like this right now. So we'll see. But I think Upstart, being a stock that will be giving out loans and will benefit from higher interest rates, I think this could be a good little play. But as you guys know, you can always read my confidence off the allocation that I put into a stock, and it is in 2%. So my confidence level on that play is not the highest, but it's 2% on long-term shares. It's like $200 right now. I'm not really I'm not gonna stress over it. I'm gonna sit and relax and watch to see what happens. So did Twilio close that gap? Yeah, it sure did, didn't it? Look at that, man. All these gaps are getting closed, man. It's great stuff. Congratulations to anyone that caught Twilio on the gap fill. That is very nice stuff. Look at that. Gap filled. Put a stamp on it. Put a nice little stamp Gap filled stamp. There you go. It's stamped, the stamp of approval for the gap fill. Twilio, very nice. Okay. Next and lastly, CRM. This is a little bear flag that I want you guys to check out. You guys can see we continue to reject the 20 SMA like it's our job. We have a little bear flag that's forming right here. And if we drop below this bear flag, I think you absolutely get more downside. Look at this 20 SMA rejection. 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 So I would be looking for the bear flag breakdown. That is very possible here on CRM. That is something that I will be watching today. Absolutely. If we go out to the weekly, it's going to be hard to find support. I would just focus on the short-term trend. See if this thing breaks this flag. And if it does, I think you get more weakness. Last stock, the stamp of approval. It's not quite there, so we won't give it the stamp just yet. But Qualcomm, guys. The high of this candle is 138.85. 138.85. If we drop to 138.85 on Qualcomm, you will receive the stamp of approval for the gap fill. Look how big, look how quickly that filled that gap. Crazy. Okay. Let's go over what the members want to look at, and we need to jump out of here and get over to the Discord chat. So, Roku, I already looked at that, so hopefully you paid attention. If you did not, just go back to the video. I'm looking for Roku under 100 today. That is what I'm looking for. AMD. AMD must hold 100, guys. That's what I'd be watching. AMD, this is the daily chart. Watch 100. Yes, that's a daily chart on CRM. Watch 100 on AMD. This is going to depend on the tech sector, guys. There's no if, ands, or buts around that. This is all it doesn't matter what AMD does. It's all dependent on what the Nasdaq does. So if the Nasdaq drops below 13K and starts to really slip, AMD will drop below 100. So that is all you really care about. What's the Nasdaq doing? Does it hold 13? Do we get some strength this week? If not, AMD, if it drops below 100, could be some pretty nasty downside. So watch AMD under 100. Facebook. I got nothing to say for Facebook, guys. I mean, this stock is just getting absolutely obliterated. There's no life. I wouldn't look for upside. I wouldn't even touch this with my money. This would be a stock that I would not be interested in one bit. This is really tough. I mean, look at this. Look at this gap. Look at this continuation. This is crazy. It hit new lows yesterday. The only way I would have any interest in Facebook, guys, the only way I would even be looking at this chart is if Facebook was above 250. That's the only time I'd have interest. Besides that, I got no interest. On the upside, none. Because you're literally just going to get sold into almost every time here. So if Facebook, by some miracle, is above 250 and it holds it as support, maybe I'd be interested in that gap fill to the upside. But until then, you just trade this to the downside, just like every other chart. Because that's all it's doing. Look at the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It just continues lower and lower and lower and lower. And if you just continue to buy these rejections, here's a rejection right here. Huge one at 190. Huge one at 196. I mean, look at that rejection over the last few days at 190. Rejection, rejection. If you get a push into 190 today, look for the rejection. Okay? Lucid, I don't even want to look at this chart, but sure. Lucid, I mean, guys, it's not the time, it's not the place for a stock like Lucid. That's really what it comes down to. That's what you gotta know about this market environment, guys. You gotta know about what's gonna work, what's not gonna work. Lucid is a stock that is not gonna work in this market environment. This is probably gonna move back down to this 17, in my opinion. You have this previous support. I would assume you come back down to test the $17 support. that would be where I'd look for something. But 17 is likely where this comes down to. Costco forming a bear flag on the 4-hour chart. Let's take a look. Yeah, maybe. Yep, maybe. You know, Costco's a stock that is a little bit more resilient. It's a little bit more of a, you know, stock that is, it's a little bit more in the time and place of this market, right? This is the difference between a stock like Lucid and Costco. Costco is more in right now because it's part of the XLP. It's a stock that is more resilient in this market. So just be careful on that front. I'd rather buy puts on companies that are just getting, you know, sold into like it's people's jobs. So 540 definitely looks like a big resistance level. And yeah, you do maybe you're forming somewhat of a bear flag here. It's a little bit loose. You know, it's not quite there, but it's somewhat apparent. Maybe you can just trade it off this 540. That's what I look for. Look for this 540 rejection. If you trade it, if you buy puts on Costco here, just have a stop above 540. Very easy. Very good risk management. Very good risk to reward here. If you were to get, you know, puts at Costco here, here's your risk, and here's your reward, right? So your risk to reward is pretty high. Here's your risk. Risk, reward. So, right? Risk reward is pretty much there if you were to get that. So, yeah, I like that. Just watch 540. Tesla. Yeah, it is people's jobs. You're right. It's just the saying. Okay, guys, so we talked about Tesla at 760 yesterday. It came down to it perfectly, right? Perfect 760 drop. Beautiful stuff. That's where it came right back down to. That's where it held support. We called it out here in the chat. I would be just watching to see what 760 does, guys. That's the huge level. Huge level, 760. Why do I say that? Because if you zoom out, you guys can see this is a previous high that I believe will maybe hold support at 760. If it does not, then if we zoom out all the way on the weekly, this is the weekly chart, I think the only next real support, like the solid support that is there on Tesla, is right here at 555. That's the solid support. That's the support that I would actually buy stuff off of, right? I would buy calls here. If we got to 555, I'd be buying long-dated calls, without a doubt. I'd buy year out, 2 year out calls on Tesla, and I'd let them sit. Because this is real support down here around 555. On the weekly chart, major, you know, little flag pattern breakout. I remember this breakout right here. This was a huge breakout. This is just a little bit of this is just a pullback after a ridiculous move. I mean, look at this move. So pulling back, if we get 555, I think that's where people get bullish. I think people start adding here. That's where I think Tesla should be. Okay, last but not least, MU. Yeah, MU's below that big level. I would just now focus on this level here. These lows right around this, what is this? Right around this, what is that, 66? Yeah, you're right around 70 right now. So watch these lows on the weekly. Let me go to the daily chart. Let me get a little bit more time here. So here you go. Here's what I'd be watching on MU. If you drop this low, then you know where you're going, right? If you drop this low, then you know you're going to be coming down here. So watch this. What is the low of this candle here? Low of this candle, 65. So if you see a drop below 65 on MU, I think you're set for some downside. So watch 65. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. I hope you guys did enjoy the stream. If you did, please press the like button before you head out. We got up to 1,000 viewers today again. Thank you so much for that. That's awesome. Please press the like button. Let's get to 500 likes. If you guys could help me out with that, that would be great. Thank you guys for being here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully you have a good day. Tomorrow, federal funds rate, monster. Take profits, guys. Don't go crazy holding through that. That's very foolish. As much as as much as the monster inside of you is like, oh my God, I'm going to get this perfect. I'm going to get, a huge play. I'm going to buy SPY puts because I know the market's going down. I know the federal funds rate's going up, and I know that we're going to get clapped off of it. If that's in your mind, you are already losing. focus on being, being, being one, not being, don't be so one-sided. Stay fluid. Stay, I'm trying to think of the word. I can't even think of the word. You know what I'm trying to say. Stay in the middle. Know that both options, both possibilities are possible. Both outcomes are possible. Protect your money as if you know that there could be a very bad side, a very good side. Don't get so focused on trying to play economic events because it is so unknown, and no one in the world, no one in this chat, no one that talks to you about thinking they know what's going to happen is correct. And that is the simple fact, and you need to protect your money because uncertainty is there. So focus on that, guys. Focus on retaining your capital, and don't just try to hit home runs because Jerome Powell's talking. All right? So I'm definitely going to be closing a lot up today. I'm going to keep it easy through tomorrow. We'll see what happens, and we'll try to take advantage of the back half of that move. Let's take advantage of the back half of the move. If the market goes up 10%, you don't think the next day is going to be bullish, right? The next day is going to be just as bullish, and we'll be able to trade it with knowing the trend. We're going to be advantage. We're going to be an advantage because we know the trend versus all the people that just took a big L because they were buying puts, right? It goes both ways. It could be on the downside, could be on the upside, except Pelosi, right? Don't forget about Pelosi. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.